Welcome guys to another video with Joseph Manifesting. Today's video, we're going to talk about what if your specific person blocked you? What if they unfollowed you? What if they're appearing more cold to you than they were before? I am going to share why this is an absolute wonderful thing. And in fact, this is ideal movement for you. When we are creating our outside experiences from our inner world, so for instance, you're manifesting a loving relationship with your specific person and you're affirming or you're feeling the wish fulfilled or whatever this is, we have to have a equal change outside of us as our inside creates our outside world. Oftentimes what appears as we are changing our inner world by the feelings that we're entertaining, the ideas that we're entertaining, the inner conversations that we're having with ourselves, we will then see a change outside of us. This change may appear to be unideal. One could argue that things are not going in harmony with what it is that we're inwardly doing. I want to let you know that it is okay, that everything is moving ideally for you. And in fact, this is very common. I have worked with many people. I myself, when I do mental diets or I sit in the wish fulfilled for a while, will experience the exact same thing. An important detail to pay attention to though, is that you are not thinking in unideal ways. And so what I mean by this is we have a bunch of subconscious impressions. Life has no meaning. However, we have given life meaning when we're in prior situations that look extremely similar to what's happening now. So if you experienced a breakup before, let's say with a past person that you're no longer interested in, there was a subconscious impression that was made. So when we go through a similar experience, that subconscious impression will be brought up and we will see life through the lens of this old subconscious impression. You will experience this with many different things, whether it's money or whatever it is. You're on your entrepreneur journey, you're on your SP journey. You will see when you get into similar situations where you're affirming for something to be a certain way, old subconscious impressions will come up. This is the part where we must not allow ourselves to think in relation to these old subconscious impressions. And so when the mind goes, oh, this looks like the last time that so-and-so did this to me and the relationship ended, we do not want to think in relation to that old subconscious impression or old subconscious belief. We want to become mindful of the fact that this old impression has come up, allow it to be there, and simply go on with our day once we acknowledge the thought. Or you can say something like, I've grown now, or I'm a conscious manifestor now, or I know how to do this now, or something that reassures yourself and puts you back into kind of your flow state so you can go on with your day ideally. Remember that there is no outside thing deciding things for you. There is no outside cause. There's nothing within you that's giving things meaning. You solely have the ability to choose what everything means to you. And so it's you versus you. You're battling against you. And it's not even really a battle once you understand that you are the sole cause and that there's nothing to fear. We simply just choose what we love. And so when these old programs come up, these old subconscious impressions come up, acknowledge them, and then simply, again, allow the thought to go. Do not think in relation to the old subconscious impression or belief, and think the way that you love to think now. I am in my ideal relationship, or if it's something related to the outside experience, everything is lovingly rearranging itself for me. This is the key part though, to really pay attention, because as you're doing your affirming, as you're feeling the wish fulfilled, by the law, there must be an outside change. This outside change now is actually ideal because again, life has no meaning, but we're choosing the meaning of it being in harmony with the vision. The only thing we want to watch out for is that we don't think in relation to old subconscious beliefs or impressions that were made in the past. So you see something happen without you, receive the text message, they just blocked you, somebody told you something about them, or you see something about them, or whatever it is. We want to catch ourselves in that moment, stop ourselves primarily first from thinking in relation to the unsure belief that is saying that this is what this means. Catch that. And then if there's any emotion or energy in the body, remove identifying with the emotion being it's bad or this is coming up because of this. Simply allow the energy in motion to be what it is. It's energy in motion. Observe the emotion, allow the emotion to be. Do not label the emotion problematic. Do not wish for the emotion to leave. Any of this resistance will cause more of the same, which brings me to another important point. Resisting causes whatever it is we're resisting to live. We are giving it meaning, hence the fighting with it. And so we don't fear anything. We simply choose what it is that we love. If there is some situation outside of us that unconsciously we're identifying with a limited belief of this means this, we don't resist it. We simply allow it to be without indulging in it, entertaining it, thinking thoughts in harmony with it. We let it be. We bring our attention within and simply go back to being in the wish fulfilled or going on with our day family, or whatever it is, that as long as you are not thinking in relation to appearances, everything is lovingly rearranging itself for you. With emotions, we don't want to resist emotions because, again, when we resist emotions, we are causing more of the same emotion. We'll have more of it. If I tell myself, feel wonderful all the time, Joseph, I am going to feel upset probably a lot more than I'm going to feel wonderful. It's not until I allow the emotion to be, it quickly passes, that I then end up in my ideal state. And it's the same thing with thoughts. I do not resist thoughts. I'm aware all day of what I'm saying to myself. And if the thought doesn't serve me or align with the version of myself that I'm now choosing, I don't resist the thought. I simply acknowledge that it's there, and I don't love it and I don't choose it. And so I allow it to go. I simply allow it to pass. Or I'll think thoughts from the vision realized, or emotionally relate from the vision realized. Whatever it is that I feel is ideal. To recap, when you are feeling the wish fulfilled, you are having ideal inner conversations from the premise of being in a loving relationship now. You will, in a lot of cases, have movement. Now, this movement may not appear as them jumping in your lap and telling you how much they love you at first. At first, you may see information that one could identify as being problematic or the opposite of what it is that they're affirming. That is not the case, obviously, as life has no meaning. So if I am painting a picture of it meaning something, and it's something that isn't in harmony with what I chose to experience, this is what I call an untrue belief. And so I do not allow myself to think in relation to the untrue belief. So the thought comes up, the limited belief comes up unconsciously, it's identified with it being a certain way. I catch it immediately. I don't allow myself to think in relation to this untrue belief. I bring my attention, I let the outside circumstance be, I let the thought be, I bring my attention within and see if there's any energy and motion within. If there's any energy with motion within, I allow it to be without judgment. It is not problematic. There's no issue with it. And once you form an ideal relationship with your thoughts and emotions, by the way, where there's no resistance, none of it's problematic anymore, you can then start choosing what your emotions you'd like to experience. And it becomes a wonderful experience. Your inner world is no longer a battleground. You're no longer fighting against yourself. This is more of a flow. This is more of an allowance. This is more of a surrender to what you love and not paying attention to what you don't love out of love. And what you'll find is very quickly when you practice this, your world will lovingly rearrange itself. Your inner world will seem a lot more ideal. You'll be experiencing a lot more emotions that you love. You'll be having a lot more ideal thoughts that you love. And then as a result, you will get a loving experience outside of you where your SP confirms to what you're doing within. And so you see this whole thing is a love thing. It's all about choosing thoughts that I love, being who I love, acting how I love, thinking the way that I love, thinking of others in a way that I love. It's all about choosing love. Because when I look back at the times that I was having these unideal thoughts about my wife and things that could be happening and all this other stuff, none of these thoughts were lovely. Thinking that she would betray me or want somebody else was not a lovely thought. Thinking that her character was a certain way or she behaved a certain way, which meant this about her, this was not a lovely thought. And then I was surprised when I got unloving experiences outside of me. I was not thinking lovely. Same thing with money or other circumstances. There's not enough money. I don't have this. And then I experienced all these unlovely things and I was flabbergasted as to why life kept doing this to me, right? Poor me. And so I only want to think loving thoughts. I only want to feel loving things. And this even includes the parts of me that is having the fears or when old subconscious beliefs come up, even loving that too. It's part of the duality. I must have positive to have negative or negative to have positive. I must have bad to have good. It's part of the duality. And when I resist one, what I notice is I will experience more of the one that I resist. And so it's not about resisting it. It's about choosing. So when I have the old subconscious beliefs come up and they're afraid or this happens, whatever, I love it. I observe it and I allow it to be. And I'll even picture myself too, loving or holding wherever I'm feeling the energy at. And I like this because it's almost as if I allow it to come up. I surrender to it, which is ideal for me because I know that when I acknowledge it and I allow it to be without resistance, what'll happen is it'll automatically leave me. And then I'm left with just what I love. I'm left with my heart's desires manifesting. I'm left with what I believe our true nature is, which is love, peace, bliss, abundance, prosperity, fulfillment. These things flow automatically. And the more and more that I manifest, the more I realize that that's just our default state of being. And the only reason why I didn't experience that before was fighting with these untrue beliefs, was thinking in relation to this. It was trying to figure out, how do I make Joseph so he's not so screwed up in the head? And the more that I kept trying to fix Joseph, the more that I cemented Joseph as being needing to be fixed. Whereas when I allowed what was coming up to be and simply just remove my attention from my current identity of Joseph to being my ideal Joseph and then not fighting the old idea of Joseph, I simply caught myself moving more and more ideal. Things flowed more and more ideal. And I get wonderful experiences. I get an abundance of money flowing to me. My relationships are wonderful. My life experiences are wonderful. All this flows automatically to me by just releasing identification. So not thinking in relation to untrue or limited beliefs. And wonderful things automatically flow to me. And I believe since I am the same as you are, this is your automatic state of being as well. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're new to the channel, please do like, subscribe, share. All my videos are on manifesting a specific person, revision, money here and there, and many other topics that I trust will be very helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching, and take care, guys.